My name's Phil Drinkwater. I am the head of film here at Severian College and a screenwriter and a filmmaker as well. I love films that are kind of dreamy and that are about dreams and the way that cinema and dreams link together. So I think if I'm picking four, then Vertigo and Mulholland Drive are always there to me as probably my two favourite films of all time. And obviously Mulholland Drive is so indebted to Vertigo, and they kind of work as a double bill so well that to me that's just great. I just love those two films. I would then bring in maybe Eyes Wide Shut into that too, I think, again as a kind of dream logic movie. And I suppose the thing that's linking those three films together as well is characters investigating things as well. Like, I love films where someone falls down a bit of a rabbit hole of investigation. If they fall down a rabbit hole of investigation and it feels like dreamy and strange to me, then that's like ticking every single box for me, and all three of those films do that. And then the fourth one would probably be Sherlock Jr., the Buster Keaton film, again about dreams, but a little different to the other two, a little less intense and dark than the others. But they would, I think, gun to my head, those would be the four that I'm saying today. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the reasoning, some of them are because I just like the film. So like I've got this Clementine one from Eternal Sunshine, and this is by like a tattooist based in Manchester, but she's German. And she just does these beautiful kind of like the detail of these tattoos. So like that and the Margot Tenenbaum tattoo, kind of there because these are like formative films for me in a way, like really important films to me. Royal Tenenbaums and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, or like the Lebowski one with the foot and the toe missing. Again, just like these are like really formative films for me. Other ones are kind of more personal, I suppose, like this Life, Death and the Cinema one to me is because that's probably like my philosophy a little bit, I think. Yeah, and the Totoro one is a little bit because of, well, not a little bit, it's because of, I mean, I love the film, but also Totoro is a film that reminds me of my son. My son passed away in 2020, and the film, last time I watched the film, I watched it with my two daughters, and it's a film about two sisters, and Totoro is this kind of like, I don't know, like this imaginary figure who appears to them and guides them and stuff like that. So it really reminded me of my son Jude and the two girls. So to me now, when I see Totoro, it reminds me of Jude. So that's where so some of them are kind of like personal in that sense, and then some of them are just, I just like this film. So my son Jude was born in 2018, but he was born with a very, very rare genetic condition called Rett syndrome, and he was very ill and quite severely disabled. But then when just before he was 2, he kind of passed away, and it was very, very difficult, obviously, as you can imagine, for our family, for me, for my wife, and my daughter Matilda. We've since had another daughter, Marnie. And we wanted to try and turn the grief and the sadness, which we live with every day, but turn it into something positive, that puts something positive into the world in his memory, like specifically. So we can try and raise money every year for a charity, which is called Reverse Rett, which are a charity run by 2 people who have daughters with Rett syndrome who are trying to find a cure for the condition. So we raise money for them every year, and it felt right for us to do that via cinema. So we've got a local cinema called the Savoy. I live in Stockport, and there's beautiful cinema. It's a restored Art Deco cinema. It's a cinema I used to go to when I was a kid before it was restored, and it was a bit of a dump. But now it's beautifully restored back to its kind of like original features and stuff like that. So we work really closely with them, and what we try and do is kind of put on an event each year that's primarily aimed at kids, like in terms of like we normally put on like a big arts and craft and disco kind of like event for kids for about an hour, just let them run around and go mad. And we've done and then we do a screening afterwards of a film. So we did Fantastic Mr. Fox and had a big Wes Anderson party before that. We did Labyrinth last time and had a big David Bowie party before that. We've done Bugsy Malone as well, and we work with them, and then the money we raise goes directly to Reverse Rett. So they've been amazing events to do, and it's really great to combine you know, how important cinema is to me with raising money in memory of Jude as well. Yeah. And then when I kind of got to high school, the drama teacher at my high school, Mr. Feeney, he was called, he kind of went rogue one half term, and he decided to show us Psycho. I don't know why, I still don't know why. And not only did he show us Psycho, but then he spent like 2-3 weeks after that, every single drama session, breaking it down, shot by shot by shot. And to me, this was like mind-blowing revelation. Like, and when I first became aware of the role of the director and what the director was doing. So it changed my life. That he saw that I was so into it, I was asking him questions about it after the lesson and stuff like that. And he gave me a copy of the Hitchcock Truffaut book, his own copy, like old copy, like he'd written his notes in it and stuff like that. And he gave that to me as a gift, like before we left to go to college, which I was really moved by. And I still got that version of it. So Psycho then became like a key text. And then after that, then the floodgates open after that. Well, you know what, like, it didn't really take any convincing, and that's when I knew I was probably marrying the right person, like, in that sense. So there was no convincing necessary, like, you know, she knows how important cinema is to me. I mean, she loves films too, but, you know, it's not even close, like, in comparison, like, because she's usually asleep by the time we get 40 minutes into any film that we ever watch together. But the Savoy is a special place to us. You know, we took Jude there when he was alive. We take the girls there all the time. It's round the corner from the house. It's a beautiful building. The guy who manages it is an ex-student of mine as well, someone I taught like 15 years ago or whatever. So there's and lots of my ex-students work there and stuff. It's just like a big part of my life in the community. And because we wanted to get married somewhere that felt personal and that was a beautiful building as well, we wanted to have it all in one place. It just seemed like the most obvious kind of option to do. So yeah, it was really special getting married there. Yeah.
What does film mean to you?
Man, that's a big question. I mean, it's huge to me in the sense that it encompasses like all of my life in some kind of way, like both personal and professional. So like from a personal perspective, ever since I was kind of like in kind of high school, it's been something I've been obsessed by. And so on a personal level, like I watch a film every single day, as much as I possibly can. I kind of watch a film every day. So I go to the cinema as often as I possibly can. You know, my house is full of film posters. I live and breathe it, right? And then to have been able to make my professional life have film at its centre, whether that's if I'm writing or whether it's teaching every day, which is the predominant thing that I do, then I suppose you could argue that it's kind of like central to my entire life. So I wouldn't really have it any other way, I don't think.